What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to be sitting down and filming for you guys today because first of all, your girl got her long nails back and I could talk with my hands because before I was trying to just like work with my natural nails with an overlay and I just was like, this is not me. But let me just give y'all a close-up on my nails. These are so cute. I'm very excited about today's video because this is something I have been really thinking about a lot lately. I always do reviews on my channel. I always try out these products. First impressions, sometimes I'll do a review after trying out the product, but I feel like I don't update you guys enough after on how those products work for me. A couple of products I'll do it here and there in videos, but you know, some people don't see those videos and they still are left wondering, well, you said you'd update us, so what is up? How is this product working out for you now? So I thought this would be a really great video to just revisit some of the products I've tried this year, 2021, tell you guys my thoughts on them. I'm just like, okay, like we can talk about these products. I spent my money on them. I want to let you guys know what the tea is and if it's truly worth the money. So let's go ahead and get started. Wait, hold on. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and join the fam. On the road to 3K, I am really excited. If you are new to my channel and this is your first time clicking on this video, I have been doing one giveaway once a week for the entire month of March, and March is not over. I do have a giveaway going right now on my channel. If you love giveaways, if you love consistency, if you love new makeup, I mean, who doesn't love new makeup? Then subscribe. This might be a long video, I don't know, because I'm sitting here looking at all of these products in front of me. And this isn't even all the products, you know? This is just the stuff that I feel like we're really hyped and you guys really want to know, like, the tea on those products. So let's go ahead and start off with primer because honestly, I've tried a couple of different primers since the beginning of January, and I don't know if you guys saw the review on the Milani primers. These were the new primers they came out with. These are the like no pore zone primer, the skin quench, the chill out, and the bright side primer. And I have been using these quite a lot recently, especially the no pore zone primer because this was in this month's Shop My Stash. So I have really been using it. I used it today. And the more that I use this, I'm starting to really get a feel for what this primer works best with. And personally, this primer, the no pore zone primer, has been working with every single foundation I've tried. Today I'm wearing it paired with the Morphe foundation, and honestly, it's literally like a match made in heaven. If you have oily skin, this will help protect your skin and really help those oils stay at bay. Like, I'm so serious when I tell you guys. Like, I feel like this primer could be duped by a lot of different things. I get like Benefit Professional vibes from this. Touch and Soul No Pore Blum primer vibes. There's just a ton of different primers I could like really dupe this to. I think these primers really work well. My first impressions, I think, were true. Like, the primers do what they say they're supposed to do. So if you've been eyeing these, I say get it. I loved them when I did a review on them and I still love them now. I love having a primer to pull when it's beneficial. Like if my skin needs moisture, when I'm going in with a really mattifying foundation, I love that I have that. If I want a more glowy type of skin day, I go on with the bright side one. Like, it's just great. Also from Milani, I don't think I've tried this on camera, but this is in my Shop My Stash for March. But this is the Glass Skin Peach Primer. This is the newest primer that they just came out with in the like fruit theme line, where they came out with like the blueberry, the avocado, the cherry. This is not a favorites video, okay? But I'm not lying when I tell you guys this has been one of my favorite primers ever. It smells like peach. It smells so good. It's a great primer to mix with other primers. I love using this. This primer right here, this is the Fourth Ray Thirst Aid Primer. I believe I talked about this in my review of the Colourpop Wild Child collection video. And this primer is basically a primer and a moisturizer in one. You basically skip the step of moisturizing and priming and you just have this one, and it's a really great primer and moisturizer personally. I love the smell. It works, especially with my oily skin, like this is such a great primer, and I'm happy I picked this up because it has truly been working for my skin. So this primer right here, this is the new Makeup Revolution Liquid Powder Pore Blurring Makeup Serum. So it took me a while to pick this up from Ulta, but I finally did, and I love it. I used this today in conjunction with the No Pore Zone primer, and when I tell you guys, first of all, it's very liquidy. Like, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but when I first tried this out, it was so runny. Like, it's so runny. I'm gonna show you guys. Like, if you put it on, it is runny, honey. Like, she's runny. But when you blend it out, oh my gosh, it literally turns into a powder. I feel like it's just so great, especially if you have oily skin. It's a really great product. I hear people saying that this is a dupe for the Versali product. I never tried that. I don't own it, so I don't really know if it is or not, but I love it, especially with a mattifying primer. I feel like this is just another extra step to help control my oils. So I'm just going all over the place. So recently, I just reviewed the new Jaclyn Cosmetics Blush and Bronzing Duo, as well as the new Go for Gold highlighter shade. And when I tell you guys, I got a lot of mixed reviews in my video regarding this and not being able to really see the bronzer. I personally don't like to use a lot of bronzer. Like, that's just me. Some days I'll go ham. Like today, I put on a good bit of bronzer. And with this, I just want to let you guys know, I have been using this literally every single day. And personally, I think this is definitely gonna be a holy grail of mine. It has truly and easily become a staple in my everyday makeup routine. This blush is absolutely beautiful. This bronzer is like the perfect shade of bronze and like red. It has a little bit of a reddish undertone. I know some people were asking me about the undertone. It's a little bit red. I am gonna swatch these two for you guys just in case you're curious. But okay, let's see. Let's swatch it here. So here's the bronzer. I don't know if you guys could see on camera. It's probably hard to see, but this is a very buildable formula, so it's not going to swatch that pigmented. But personally, I love a buildable bronzer, honestly. But, so, I don't know if you guys could tell on camera, but it's really hard to tell. But the bronzer is the first shade I swatched, and the blush is here. This kind of has like a reddish undertone to it, so it's not neutral. I know some people were asking me, is it a neutral undertone? But it's not neutral. It does come off a little bit red. It has like the perfect amount of red in it. It's not a lot of red at all, but I do find that this is the perfect bronzer for people who are just getting into bronzer and getting into blush, because like you can go heavy with this or you can go subtle and light, and that's what I love about this product. I have the shade Be Rouge and Espresso Shot. So the highlighter from Jaclyn, this is the new shade Go for Gold. The only thing with this highlighter shade is that it won't go with every single eye look. Like today, I'm wearing a purple matte eye look. I do feel like when I really want to use this shade, I'm always like, okay, what eye look combo can I do that will go so good with this and complement this so well? And yeah, so that's how I really use this shade. But it is very pretty, very pigmented, very blinding, and it is truly a gold highlighter, and I love it. This formula is great. I highly recommend that you try it out because I've been loving this. Let's go ahead and talk about blush for a second, because I want to talk about the Colourpop Cheek Dew serums, because this was a roller coaster when I did this review, because at the end of the review, I mentioned that I was going to play with these some more, and I definitely did. And I think my opinion stayed the same. This is just really not a product for me. I found myself having to use so much of the serum to get the color to show up. And I personally think that's a waste of product when you have to use so much just to get a little bit of color within them. So personally, I still feel as though this really is a preference. I feel like if you have a lighter skin tone and you choose a deeper blush, you probably won't have to do that much building on these serums. But me personally, I really have to build to get these up, because if I don't, they will literally blend out to nothing. First of all, let me just say, I'm so happy that cream blushes and serum blushes and blushes like this are in right now, because blush is my favorite part of my makeup routine. It's literally my favorite piece of makeup, like truly in my collection. Like, I love blush. I love collecting blush. And the fact that blush is in right now, I'm just like, ooh, what brand is gonna come out with blush next? Because your girl loves her blush. Okay, so let's talk this blush right here from Rare Beauty. This is from the Vulnerable line. You guys, when this first came out, I was so excited to get this and try this out, because first of all, this is so cute. The packaging is so cute, and ever since I've done my review, I've watched a lot of reviews or people using this on YouTube, and it's always a mixed review. I personally, when I first tried this, I had a really great experience. I found that I liked it better applied with the sponge and not my fingers, but I still like this product. I love using this product when I go for a lighter coverage makeup, and it's a really great product. Personally, this was another product that really depends on preference, because a lot of people, either you love it or you hate it. But if you're that person that is getting into Rare Beauty's blushes for the first time, I highly recommend that you try out the liquid blush. Though it is very pigmented, I personally think that for the price, that is just, if you had to choose between the two and you loved cream blushes and liquid blushes, and you really didn't know which one to pick, I'd go for the liquid blush from Rare Beauty, because I feel like you'll get a lot more out of that blush. But this is a blush, if you really know that you don't like pigmented blushes and you like a cream blush that you can build up to an extent, but you know, you don't like that much blush, then I definitely go for the Vulnerable blush. Oh, and next we have these two blush palettes from Hank & Henry. I just did a review on these on my channel. I'm wearing this blush today called Cheeky, right? Are you cheeky? Yes, I'm wearing this blush right here today called Cheeky on my cheeks, and I love this. I stand behind these blush palettes. Definitely really great blush palettes. And the crazy thing is, I have not been reaching for a lot of my single blushes. I have just been using this, and that's it. So that says a lot. So I love when I just fall in love with new products. Like, truly, I love that, because then I can rave about them on my channel and include them in favorites videos. Best believe you guys will be seeing that in a favorites video. Let's talk the Sky High mascara, because this was a TikTok mascara, like TikTok viral mascara, you guys. And personally, I am not the biggest fan of the applicator. The applicator is a plastic applicator, so you know those plastic applicators kind of like hurt your eye as you apply them, but that's what this applicator is like. But I will say, I love this mascara for my bottom lashes. My bottom lashes look so good and like doll-like, which is what I love. I love like doll bottom lashes. I'm gonna see, can I? Okay, do you guys? Ooh! Alright, so I just zoomed in. It's a little blurry, but I don't know if you guys can see my bottom lashes, but that's from this mascara right here. I just love how doll-like and really good my bottom lashes look. So I personally love that mascara for my bottom lashes. My top lashes, not so much, honestly, but I mean, you know, I like them for the bottom lash. So next up is the ABH Iced Out Highlighter, and I personally haven't really picked up this highlighter that much since I reviewed it. Maybe like 4 or 5 times since I reviewed this, just because this is one of those highlighters where it's like, what can I wear that this gold greenish duochrome shifting highlighter will go with? And I think this is just one of those highlighters you just use for special looks. It's not an everyday highlighter personally. Maybe you might find a way to use this as an everyday highlighter, but me, I can't use it that much as an everyday highlighter, because it's like a greenish gold, you know, which is a highlighter that doesn't really go with everything. But I do love the formula. I think the formula is really great. It doesn't leave a streak on my face, and it's a really pretty highlighter all the way around, but it's just not an everyday highlighter for me. I wish I could have went in order on as like the way that I did my makeup, but I just had all of these products scattered in front of me and I just was like, you know, I just grabbed what I saw first. But I do want to just quickly talk about foundation, because the Morphe foundation has been featured in a couple of my monthly favorites, maybe like 1 or 2 of my monthly favorites. But I'm wearing this foundation today and I really, really, really love this foundation. I think it is really, really great, and it's a foundation that I would just try out. If you tried out Morphe's first foundation and you didn't like it, I think you'll like this a lot better, because this is more like up to date with the times that we're in now, and it's a really, really popular foundation and a lot of people love it. I mean, it still is a preference type of thing of the type of foundation you like, but so far a lot of people love it. I'm one of those people included. I'm wearing it today, so if you like how my base looks and my foundation and all that stuff, it's this one. I'm in the shade Filter 30. That's Filter Rich 30. Oh my. But yeah, so I love that foundation. It's really, really great. Another new foundation that I tested out recently was the Fenty Beauty Powder Foundation. Now, this was my first time using a powder foundation, and personally, I did not know the best way to apply it, but I did find a way that works for me. So I feel as though I don't use this as a foundation for itself. Like, I don't use this on its own. Let me just say that. So on days where I will wear like a tinted moisturizer or a lighter, less coverage foundation, if I just feel like certain areas need more coverage, I'll go in with this. I will say this foundation is very, very, very tricky to find your perfect shade, because if you know, like you die hard know your shade in the Fenty line for foundations, it will not be the same in the powder. For some reason, these powder foundations are a lot darker. I have the shade 410, and in the Fenty foundation I'm 420. Though it is one shade lighter, it still comes off pretty dark, but I love using this to add coverage to my skin. I think that's a perfect way to use this, because it's a powder foundation, so you know it'll add some type of coverage. If you feel like you don't have enough foundation on, you can just take this and powder it in certain areas, especially if you use a tinted moisturizer and you just, you know, tinted moisturizers don't really give you any kind of coverage, so you use that, you get coverage that you're just missing in certain areas. So that's the best way I found that Fenty Beauty foundation applies. So let's go ahead and just talk about a couple of eyeshadow palettes I just want to update you guys on with my thoughts. These are the most recent eyeshadow palettes I've tried. So first off is the Colourpop X Animal Crossing collab. So these palettes I think are really, really cute. I think they're really great, especially if you are an Animal Crossing lover. I just use them to create a simple, easy, everyday kind of look. I do love them. The size really be throwing me off sometimes, because I'm like, these are so tiny. So it's like, I found myself a couple of times really forgetting that I had these palettes, because it's like, I'll open my Colourpop drawer and I'll be like, oh my god, the Animal Crossing collab. Like, you know, because they're so small, it's like, I forget about them sometimes, but whenever I do play with them, I do have fun playing with them, and I'm really happy that I picked up this collection, because I think it's a really great collection, honestly. By the way, guys, I did receive a replacement, or not really a replacement because they didn't send it in my package, but this palette from the Valentine's Day collection, the 143 palette, I received this and one shade did come broken. Did I bother to ask for another one? No, I didn't. I just was like, whatever. Whatever. So yeah, so I did finally get this one. I haven't used it since I got it, even though I was so excited about it. I just felt like my hype had died, but you know. But I had the other two, and I really do love the Valentine's Day collection, and I think these are really great palettes for this time of year, so definitely recommend those. Next is the BH Cosmetics collab with Alondra and Elsie. You guys, I have been using this palette so much recently. Like, I am in love with this palette, this color story. I played with the blues. I had so much fun playing with the blues, and I just want to do another look with this palette. I just think it's a great palette. I personally did not think I would love this palette as much as I ended up doing. but I think it's really great, and if you can get your hands on this, I definitely would, because it's such a great everyday palette and you can get some amazing looks just from this palette. Next is the BH Cosmetics New Romantic palette. You guys, I loved using this in my review. I had so much fun. I've used it a couple of times since, and I think if you have been eyeing this palette, you need to go and get it, because this palette is not a permanent line palette. This was strictly for the Valentine's Day collection. And palettes like this theme like this, they will not last long on Beauty Bay's site. So I would definitely go and pick this up because it's such a great palette. And I talk about Beauty Bay so much, you guys. I'm telling y'all, they are underrated, like truly underrated, and the price you cannot beat. So I feel like once people start like really getting into Beauty Bay like they're doing now, they're gonna raise the prices. And I mean, you already get really cheap palettes for $20 and $15. Like, it's great, seriously. Since we're talking about Beauty Bay, I have two more products to talk about, and this is the new Fiery 2.0 palette from Beauty Bay. I did not do a review of this on my channel. I was so excited because I was just so excited to get this that I just played with it on my own and fell in love with it. This is one of their 42 pan palettes. This does retail for $20, and they already came out with a Fiery palette, but this is like the 2.0, and personally, I think this one is so much better than the original Fiery, because you have all of your yellows, your oranges, your neutrals, and then your reds. Like, I think this one is just laid out so much better. And I personally just love this eyeshadow palette. If you guys want to see a review or anything like that on this palette, definitely let me know, because your girl, you know your girl gonna do it for y'all. She gonna do it. So just let me know, because I love this palette and it's really great. And then lastly, this is not an eyeshadow palette, but it's these three cream gel pencils from the Colourpop X Bambi collection. You guys, I haven't had to sharpen these yet, which is crazy. I haven't been using them that much, but I haven't had to sharpen them, and I've been using these and the cream gel liners with the retractable, you know, mechanism. And I don't know if it's just like the component, but I just feel like these are a little bit more creamier. I love my cream gel liners. Y'all know how I feel about them. But for some reason, something about these are creamier. I don't know why. Maybe because it's like really condensed in like the pencil form, so there's no air getting in it. So I don't know, but I really do like these. So yeah, that's really it. Like that. Let me know your thoughts down below if you guys like this like new product roundup. I just pulled some products, like you guys, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of new products, but I just pulled some that I thought maybe you guys would care to hear my thoughts on them, maybe not, or like, you know, just hear about some of them, you know, in a way. But I enjoyed filming this video. Definitely let me know your thoughts down below. Just let me know your thoughts down below, you know, we can just have a little conversation. But don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.